healing's going to mean different things for different people at different times, different scenarios,
times of the day.
Yeah, different times of the day even. Because so one fundamental piece that I want to get in here in this conversation as we kick this off is that all healing is self-healing.
Yeah.
So all healing is from within. So actually a really interesting little piece on that is that doesn't mean that you have to do it all yourself. I mean, there's practitioners. Deb and I are both coaches, and there's healers, and there's practitioners of you name any kind of modality. The key piece is you do not abdicate responsibility of the healing process to somebody else.
Debz is a stressologist. She will stretch your mindset to think bigger than you've ever thought before, with follow-through techniques that are realistic and achievable to blow any fear out of your mind. Moira is a mindset cultivator. She will help you align your personal trinity of self-trust, inner awareness, and self-confidence so that you discover and share your unique gifts and purpose. Together, their goal with these conversations is to share how our inclinations do not always work in our best interest, and to provide the knowledge to leverage the gifts that already exist within each one of us. Their desire is to help you learn how to access the habits and behaviors that will lead to positive change and your best quality of life. Welcome to your deliciously motivated mindset.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, listeners. Good evening, morning, afternoon, Moira. Hello.
Greetings, my dear friend Deb.
Yes, well, I say good morning because it's morning here in New Zealand, and it's
kind of,
is it tea time?
It's almost tea time. Getting into the
late
evening.
Afternoon.
Still beautiful sunshine here, though.
So we can say that you're afternoon and evening-ish.
Yes, we can.
Yeah. And wherever the listeners are in the world, hello.
Hi, greetings, dear friends.
Yes, and oh my gosh, thank you for joining us for our deliciously motivated mindset conversation with Debz, that would be me, with the non-accent, and Moira, who has the accent, that would be
be me. Yes, I have the accent. We'll just let Deb have that.
That's the one. Oh my gosh, today is a beautiful conversation we're going to have, which we just have to giggle because we've just talked about exactly this before we realized what the topic was.
That's right.
Which
often happens.
Which happens,
I think, almost every time.
Often every time. Yeah, that's the one.
Yep.
So, but first, if you've listened to us before, that's fabulous. If you haven't, that's also fabulous because you're going to listen to us today. But one of the things that we do is we do this check-in. I actually don't even know if we call it something in particular.
Yeah, check-in, emotional assessment, self-assessment.
Yeah, self-assessment. And so what it is we rate ourselves, RATE. We rate ourselves on a scale of 0 to 10. 10 being chaotic, frazzled, just an emotional basket case is what I was about to say. That was me on Friday. I was definitely a 10 on Friday. A 10 is when just you touch something and it just, everything gets worse and worse and worse and worse and worse, and you just feel like you just feel like you're on this bad hamster wheel and there's no way off. That's a 10, or even you can't even step on the hamster wheel. And then there's 0, and 0 is a place of, even just saying 0, it's a place of zen, where you just feel complete, okay, no crazy going on in your mind, no crazy going on in your body. You're just completely present and poised.
And calm and easy and zen. 0 for zen, right?
0 for zen. And a 5, which is a between that, is a between those. Yeah, clearly. So what we do is we rate ourselves now at the start. There's a little halfway check-in, rate yourself then at the halfway check-in, and then at the end rate yourself. And it just allows you to look at what's going on around you, and our intention is to shift you closer to the 0 zen point. but it's okay if you jump either way, but it's just an awareness for yourself, and it's a great tool that you can use in a day-to-day life strategy, basically. So in saying that,
she's like, oh my God, and that means I have to have a number.
then I went, now I've got to think. So in saying that, Moira, what number would you be right now?
So I was going to say I'm a 1, but really I think I'm a 2, because as I feel into the topic, I'm really looking forward to our conversation. But I think that there's some nuggets and some pieces that maybe need to be unearthed a little bit. So I'm going to say 2.
Okay, perfect. So Moira starts at a 2. I'm saying a 2.5 because I've suddenly just got this cough going on in my in my throat. And today's podcast is perfect for me because last week I was bordering between a 5 and a 10 most days.
Yes.
And some days I was just putting the lid on it, battling it down, pretending I was a 2, but in reality I was an 8 underneath that lid.
Right.
Wobbling away. And so Friday I was definitely a 10. In fact, I was probably 11. Yeah. So and today's a Tuesday for me. Of course, I'm one day ahead of Moira.
That's right. Yes.
The other side of the world. So that's where I'm at. I'm at a 2.5. Moira's a 2. So just if you can write down your number would be really helpful for you. And then we're just going to crack on. And today's one is exactly what I required on Friday when I had my tears can't stop flowing. And it is, what does healing mean? Even just saying that, I just feel, okay, this is going to be a nice one.
Yeah, I think so too.
So Moira, what does healing mean?
What does healing mean? So I think that healing's going to mean different things for different people at different times, different scenarios,
times of the day. Yeah,
different times of the day even. Because one fundamental piece that I want to get in here in this conversation as we kick this off is that all healing is self-healing.
Yeah.
So all healing is from within. So actually a really interesting little piece on that is that doesn't mean that you have to do it all yourself. I mean, there's practitioners. Deb and I are both coaches, and there's healers, and there's practitioners of you name any kind of modality. The key piece is you do not abdicate responsibility of the healing process to somebody else. You enroll a team and you put together the best way for your own healing, and you're the authority of it. But the story I was going to share that just kind of came into my awareness there is earlier today, I got my nails done. It's my favorite thing.
Super cute.
Every 3 weeks, getting my nails done. And I have such fun time with the girl that does my nails. But she was telling me about the woman who owned the salon was talking to somebody else about a supplement that they sell in the salon I go to. And they're saying it's got this and it's oil of something. It's got CBD oil and all these different vitamins and all this stuff. And so I was kind of hearing this conversation, and the girl that's doing my nails, she's just sort of shaking her head, saying she doesn't believe in it. She doesn't think it's good. She's
a crock of shit.
Yeah, pretty much. Thank you. She didn't use those words, but that was kind of it.
Okay. Yeah.
So I said to her, so have you tried it? And she said no. And I said, so then it doesn't work for you because you're not even trying it. Whereas the people that the woman that was in buying it swears by it. She thinks it's the best thing ever. She gets awesome sleep. She feels healthy. She feels happy. So to me, that's the best healing tonic. Who cares what it is? Because she believes it. And so that's what I'm saying to my nail technician is it's not your healing technique or your healing tonic because she thinks it's a crock. Right?
I love that. Is so true because I get that. I totally get that. So you've actually got to believe it,
yes,
no matter what it is. Because I just went last week and saw a practitioner about some stuff, and it was red light therapy. and she was saying there was a few things going on.
Mhm.
And I said, it sounds like that last person didn't value it. You know, when somebody else, sometimes when someone pays for you to go along, you've got to go. It's obligation. It's not,
Right.
I'll just do this to shut the wife up, or I'll just do this to shut the husband up, or I'll just do this to whatever. I'll just do this obligation, which is, or we already know is an ASS.
Yes, but that's not really going to facilitate much healing, is it?
No, exactly. So you've actually got to believe that this is going to work. So when you rock up to do this, the healing, whatever healing it is, you've got to know that you're going to the best of the best, and they're going to help you and guide you, and, you know, use a bit of your intuition, but you must believe it. So it's that trust, isn't it? Because if you don't trust it, then there's no point.
No, because that's it. And so that's something that, because I'm a hypnotherapist, and I've had countless people say, oh, can you make me do this? Oh, can you just help me fix this? You know, get rid of this habit, or take on that habit, or heal this, or overcome that. And the truth is, yeah, I likely can, only if they believe in it, and they believe in themselves.
Yeah.
Because that's the success. You know, when I say that, what kind of success rate, or what's your success? It's like, well, you're the success. Well, it's like you're saying, you have to opt into your own healing process, because it's not going to happen otherwise.
Yeah, so we do a lot of referrals. I'm a big referral person. And I'm a referral person of what's a win and what's not. You know, we've just recently moved, and there's definitely people I won't refer.
Yes.
Because I'm not going to go and, you know, but if someone says I'm moving, can you recommend someone? I will definitely tell them who I can recommend and who I won't recommend.
Right.
You know, I definitely will do that. But that's, you know, if you want a plumber, often we don't Google a plumber, we go referral. Do you know anyone else? Most of the time we go straight to social media. I'm looking for a plumber. Can someone refer someone? The next thing you know, there's
a gazillion. Yeah,
exactly. Although I did have to laugh, because someone said last night on Facebook they were looking for a mortgage broker. Can someone recommend? And then they said, but don't what they say, but don't refer yourself. I want real people. And I was like, wow, you're really fussy. Like, so if you're a mortgage, I just thought that was really blunt. I mean, if you love your product and you're very good at, why would you not refer yourself?
Why wouldn't you?
But I had to giggle at that. I was like, wow, you're definitely a little bit closed on that option. But we do have that referral base, and what works for you may not work for someone else.
That, and especially when you get into healing, right? Because that's exactly what the example I just gave, right? So I witnessed somebody right there in the salon that swears by this stuff, and yet the girl that does my nails, nope, and that's okay.
Yeah, and I think that's what you just said. That's okay.
Yeah,
that's okay. And I think we've got to remember that's okay. So Moira may, you know, I may not believe in hypnotherapy. Might think it's a crock, whatever. And Moira does it. I'm not going to ditch Moira as a friend.
Absolutely.
But actually, I do refer clients to Moira anyway, so that's not true that I think she's a crock. And I wouldn't be doing this podcast if I didn't. But I mean, this is it. You do what works for you.
Exactly. Exactly. And so it's to be willing, as coaches and therapists ourselves, we're going to suggest, and, you know, based on our experience or based on our awareness, but my agenda is not, you have to do it what I'm saying.
No, and I think that's the other thing, is you being a coach or the mentor to help these people, to guide them, is you're not attached to that outcome. So if this works, that's great. If they don't like doing it, we as coaches will try and find another option.
That's right.
Or we will pivot and go, okay, well, they don't want to do pen on paper, or they don't want to write their gratitude, or they don't want to think their gratitude, then there's another thing. We'll give them another option.
Absolutely.
You know, what we're doing is we're just choosing what works for them until that person can go, yeah, this is a really good one. Because there is that trust and belief. So when you hire somebody, you know, I like the way you said you don't abdicate this responsibility, but when you hire somebody, you've got to trust and believe it. It's, you know, you must trust and believe that it's going to work, because if it doesn't, or because if you don't, it's never going to work. It's never going to work 100%.
No. But so that in this, so let's say you tap into your intuition and you say, I'm going to hire this person as a coach. And this coach says, do gratitude. And you think, no, I tried gratitude. It doesn't work.
That's a crock of, yeah.
We might. I've tried that, or I used to do that.
That's why it's best to have a phone call with Deborah, not face to face, because I'll go, what? My face will go, what do you mean it doesn't work? It works for everybody. What's wrong with you?
Everybody.
Yeah.
But no, what I'm trying to say here is that if a coach suggests something to you because you hired this coach, because you intuitively felt drawn to doing that, my recommendation is to try everything, even if it's just to try it once. So for me, I do hypnotherapy. I do energy work. I do EFT tapping. I do affirmations. And I'm saying, try each one. As I'm working, I'm an intuitive coach. So I'm going to intuitively read your energy and then suggest something which I'd like you to try. And if it resonates, that's great. Now it's yours and you go and make it your practice. If it doesn't, that's great too. Because you say, okay, so repeating affirmations didn't work for you. So maybe reading something else, uplifting quotes or something would be better for you.
And I think that's the thing is, so when you hire a coach or you employ a coach or whatever you want to call it, when you get a mentor who can help you, it is that trust and belief in that mentor. Yeah. But there's different types of mentors, and I'm just going to say, Moira and I, it's not ego driven. So if you came to me and said, or if somebody came to Moira and said, I hate hypnotherapy. It's never worked for me. It's never worked for my family. Everybody I know, it's a crock of whatever, blah, 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 blah. Moira is not going to strap on her ego and go, I'm going to prove you wrong. I'm going to hypnotherapy you.
Hypnotize.
Hypnotherapy you. Yeah, hypnotize. I'm not going to do that. Moira's ego is not going to jump and go, I'm going to prove you wrong.
No,
Moira's intuition's going to guide her to, okay, let's show her different modalities or show her or him, the different modalities. And then down the track, we may do hypnotherapy.
Yeah.
But right now, they're so highly charged on that. I'm not my ego. And there are some coaches that go, well, you didn't do it right. Or you didn't do this. So let's just show you that. And it's like, no, that's not what it's about. You don't want to go straight in for the throat. Right. But it is that trust and belief of who you employ.
Yep.
To oversee you.
Because exactly. That's the key point, because who are you enrolling on your team? And a lot of people need multiple people on their team, right? For myself, I have a mentor. I have a chiropractor who does acupuncture. I have a nail girl. This is part of my team, right?
Yeah.
And you do too, right, Deb? It's like we put together our own team. And as we evolve and change, maybe our own mentors and team shift and change too.
Yeah, definitely. I remember getting a mentor when I first started doing this work many, many, many years ago. And she was an amazing mentor. But after about 6 months, I'm like, you don't know answers to the questions I'm asking. Right. I'm asking things that, and I thought she was at that evolved level. And then I realized she wasn't. And so I had no problem just moving on. Yeah. And one time I actually had the conversation with her. She said, why did you leave me? I really helped you. And I was like, oh, well, I just asked a few questions and you couldn't answer them. And to me, they were just universal about the universe. And I just wanted to go to the next level of understanding what the universe was about, not just let's build my business. I said, but you're incredibly helpful. And it's okay to let people go.
Oh, yeah.
Because we all evolve.
Absolutely. And I've done the same thing. I'm very grateful for the different mentors and teachers that I work with. But then you evolve and you take, it's not like there was any reason of bad or I have to get away from that person.
And I think it's the thing is that, I need to stay with them. I was their client and I was this and this. It's like, no, you don't. Don't have to stay with them. Don't stay with them. Who you were at high school is not who you are now, unless you're still at high school. Just saying. Yeah,
this and you see and I think that there's a propensity that you may limit your own development or your own healing, if we're bringing that into that conversation, by staying through obligation. Then because then you're forgetting that if your inner knowing says, I need some different modality or different level of coaching or mentoring, then that's your own inner wisdom, and you must listen to that for your own evolution, right?
Yeah. And I also think with that is be okay with, like, and I talk about 2020 was the year of pivot.
Yes.
Something's happening, up, turn, oh, whoa, okay, I'm having to change direction, or I'm having to go online, or I'm having
so
to
much change,
wear slippers over heels, or
not travel like I used to.
Yeah, definitely. Well, my suitcase has got cobwebs on them. I was away once a month, international flights. But it's definitely the year of the pivot, and I think that has really allowed us to, what does healing mean? Is it's pivoting, it's being flexible, being able to change direction, whether you like it or not. And you might be going through that tunnel, and it's pretty damn uncomfortable, and you can feel it's damn uncomfortable, but knowing that you're all changing, and we do change, because who you were, Moira, a year ago is not who you are now. Absolutely. And the same for me. And even who I was last week is not different to who I am today.
And that's the whole piece, because what real healing is about is staying present and feeling balance and harmony and peace where you are. So to your point, Deb, in this whole year of pivot and then pivot and then pivot and
and quick pivot, but I just got used to this, and pivot again, and pivot. Yes.
But with this idea of healing, it means, okay, just take a deep breath, and now I'm called upon to take a step this direction, and then take a deep breath, and it's to just keep coming back to that. My favorite, hand over your heart and take a deep breath. Right?
I put my hand on my heart the other day with a girl on video, and she said, that's not your heart. I said, oh, it's a boob, it's the same thing.
A quick wee message before we get back to this episode. You can get access to a special gift Moira and Debz have put together for you. Go to deliciouslymotivatedmindset.com/gift. When you sign up, you'll receive instant access to an inner peace kit and the 30 Days of Wisdom program, both of which is intended to help you feel deliciously motivated right away. Go to deliciouslymotivatedmindset.com/gift.
Then
in this vicinity.
I just went, well, I know that. I was like roping my boob. I was like, I know that. No one's ever called me on that. I know it's not my heart, but I quite like my boobs. I'll just hold my boob.
Why
still
not?
has the same effect. Still has the same effect. I can still feel my heart.
But so that's actually a really, really fun point. Is that's what works for you. So somebody telling you you did it wrong, it's like, that's wrong for you, but this is for me.
And well, when I think about it, she said it, and I just laughed, and I said, yeah, but it's my boob. I like my boobs. So the other thing is, I didn't attach, Deborah, you've been doing it wrong for all these years.
All this time. Yeah.
I didn't go, oh my God, I've been doing it wrong. I was like, yeah, but I literally said, yeah, but it's my boob. I like my boobs. I know where my heart is.
I love that. I love that. Yeah. I love that. But that is very healing. That's about, because here's the other layer too, is healing all starts from within.
Yeah.
It's inner healing. But it's also about loving and accepting all aspects of you, treasuring the choices and the journey, and sometimes it does mean that you sit and bawl your eyes out.
Yeah.
But it will shift to the degree that you're willing to say, I'm just going to keep moving. Next step. Not run. It's not about running away and stuffing down and, oh, this is uncomfortable, I don't like this.
Yeah.
It's understanding that this is your soul experience. And I think that there's so much healing can happen when we just stay present to what it is we're feeling. Right?
And I think I love the way you said, when we talk about loving all aspects of you, but it's also taking that step forward. But if you feel like you just have to lie down, whether you have to go to bed or you have to go to the couch or you just have to shut everything a day or away or turn your phone off, that's still part of moving forward, because you're shutting your brain down. So it all recoups, recalibrates, it all comes back together. And then when you're ready, you'll go, oh my God, I've got this idea. But sometimes you often have to shut everything down, turn the lights out before you can see the light.
Yep. No, that's beautifully said. It's a bit like we've shared with our listeners that we've both had challenges with our mobility, with our feet and legs. When mine initially happened, it was scary because I love going for my walks, and all of a sudden I can't really walk very well at all. And so I like, to your point, it was for a whole week. I couldn't go out for a walk, and actually had to hold on for support every time I moved around. And it was by sitting and just not fighting that, just this is what was going on. And I would journal, and I would
surrendering,
talk to my
isn't
body.
it?
It was hugely about surrendering.
Yeah.
But then the next phase after getting through it is then I started getting the insights and the guidance from my own awareness. But then went back to the thing of the team. That's how come I have a chiropractor and does acupuncture, because that was the next part of it. And it's still in progress for me. I'm back to doing my hour-long walks, but it makes me honor it so much more, because I took it at my pace to get through the whole experience. And I think from what you've described, it's a similar kind of journey through this, right?
Well, I'm still in my moon boot, but in saying I'm in my moon boot, I'm actually I'm not in the hard moon boot. I'm in a soft ankle support, would say, even though it's not my ankle that's the issue, apparently, but we'll see. But it's reminding me, because if I took all that off, so I am walking now, and if I took all that off, I would just go straight back to 110 miles an hour.
Exactly. Yeah.
So by having this awkward, weird thing that is very light compared to what it was, it's reminding me it's still there. Don't go at full speed, because I think that's the other thing. We talked about surrendering, and then not coming back at full speed, just guiding into it. Just go. So if you're not well, have a little drink of water. Yeah. And so you're not going to guzzle the whole a liter of water straight away if you haven't been drinking. So it's just take a little bit and see how that feels, and if it works, take a little bit more, or don't. Just everything's different. And I'm a big believer. Moira's talked about the PEMS, PEMS, and if your PEMS may be in order today, but they may not be in order the day before, and then your healing is going to be different from the day before to today.
Precisely. And that's checking in with your physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual well-being. That's what what PEMS is.
I was just going to say, explain what PEMS. I was just going to say, Moira, explain what PEMS is. But know that today's healing could be different to yesterday's healing or tomorrow's healing. You just got to
part of what it's part of what I meant about being present and peaceful and accepting of what's going on in this moment. And to your point, as I was starting to get stronger and more stable on my legs and feet, the first walk I did was only 20 minutes. Part of my head was like, come on, come on.
Come on, you pussy, let's get moving. Come on.
But it was to just sit, that's what I could do for that amount of time. And then for probably about a week and a half, it was only half hour that I could do, and felt good doing it. But it was to find that pace, right?
I was just going to say, but even that half an hour is just enough of a fix you up. There's so many, and I'm going to say the pandemic, what's happening now around the world, but people are like, but I had COVID last week. I want to get back to running my 10Ks a day. And it's like, no, can I just say your body's had a knock around? Yeah. Let's just put it nicely. Your body's had a knock around. You don't want to be getting up, going straight back to where you were. Let's just build it up. And I think that's the beautiful thing, is what Moira was saying with her is she just walked a little bit. She
Mhm.
just, she just got that feel of that. She wasn't back to her full speed, full same thing, just, and you, I guess in that half-hour walk instead of an hour walk, you were appreciating that 30 minutes way more than you were that last hour, because you're actually seeing things at a slower pace.
Yeah.
You're like, oh wow, a month ago that had changed. Wow, I hadn't seen that tree there. That tree's changed. So you're actually just taking it in at a slower pace.
Yeah, precisely. Precisely. Yeah.
Yeah. I think PEMS is a great one, and that is the same with the 0 to 10.
Yeah, when we do the assessment, if we're checking in on the PEMS, how's your body feeling? How are you feeling
it's a check-in.
emotionally?
Yeah.
And what's going on in your mind, and how are you feeling connected to source?
Yeah. And I think that's a great one of healing. But any healing, what does healing mean? It's self-love, isn't it?
That's the fundamental part of it. That's it.
I'm just looking at the things that I've just written notes about down, and I've gone, it's self-love.
It's unconditional self-love. Yes.
Yeah.
In actuality, that's what we're all seeking, right? And we all deserve it.
Yeah.
That's the foundational key piece. It's love. One of my mentors talks about some of the layers that we work on healing is areas where perhaps love wasn't freely available in our childhood and our upbringing. And so in those areas in our life, and it could be belief system, or how you think of your body, or how you think you should be operating, then it's that's what you're doing, is healing that aspect, that unloved and unaccepted piece of you. That's a core piece of healing too, but again, it's an inside job, right?
Yeah. And yes, definitely is an inside job. But if you don't heal, what does healing mean? If you just want to park it, that's okay, but you can't, so for me, I had my injury in my foot and I refused to see anybody for a week and a half. Actually, it was probably 2 weeks in reality, but I refused it, which is not a healthy option, because all you're doing is you're damaging more and more and more if you don't jump in and say, I'm ready. But my ego, and I'm going to say my ego, was way in check and saying, Deborah, you can't stop this, because who else is going to do it? You need to get this done, because da. And as it was, everything went tits up anyway. Surprise. Maybe if I did get someone else in and employed someone, I wouldn't have had this hassle.
Yes,
maybe. Oh, maybe I could have listened to the universe at the time. Damn, that was a light bulb moment.
Yeah.
Damn.
Interesting.
But the other thing is, if you park your healing, it's really honorable to park your healing and say, I will deal with this, and find time and do it. Don't just go, I'll deal with it.
That's the key piece, because let's face it, sometimes there are times where it's like, nope, I can't, this is not the time to sit and journal or check into my emotions or do some kind of process. Life happens, right? So yes, sometimes it is required to park it, or to say later, but the key piece is you got to make a date with yourself and keep it. Right.
And keep it.
And keep it. That's underlined.
I'm a big diary person. That's me just showing them on my phone. That's not the timer, by the way. I'm a big diary person, and things go on my diary. Like if I have to do something, or got to do something, have to do something. If I'm going to do something, I'll put in my diary, I'll go an hour of doing that, or whatever.
Right. Yeah. That's a good way to do
my
it.
my diary's available for people to book into. So if I don't put that time in there and I just leave that day empty, someone, I can have 3 bookings, and then I'm like, oh damn, I meant to get this done today, but I have to block it. I have to block it out of my diary, so no one else comes in, because otherwise I get distracted. Someone will come in and I'll do something, and then I'll go, oh yay, and then I'm going to do that for that person, and that, and then it doesn't get done. So I love that. Make a date with yourself.
Yep.
And do it.
Yep.
I think that's really important. And Yeah.
It's putting your own healthcare still, your own self-care at the top of your list. It's just you may need to take care of a few other things, but you're saying, yes, it matters to me. I matter to me.
I was just
So
going
as
to
that
say,
I
it's
come
actually
back to that.
saying, if I don't deal with it, I'm actually not that, I'm not that important.
That's right. That's right. And that's the key piece, is that, I think that sometimes too, we can get into a bit of a hamster wheel on this, is that if you go for a long period of time of stuffing it down, no, I'm not going to pay attention to that. I'm not going to give in to.
And your ankle gets swollen.
Yeah,
more.
your ankle gets swollen, or you start hobbling and limping, and I'm not going to listen to that. And or I'm not going to sit with it and see what's the gift or the intel behind it. I think that if we go for long enough dissing that, stuffing it down, it starts to go quiet on us, because it's like, what's the point? Your inner essence, your inner wisdom kind of says, it gets a bit of a jaded thing of, what's the point in trying to tap you on the shoulder and say, hey, I need you to sit and just breathe through this issue, or surrender enough to get the epiphany of what's going on for you. It's almost like you kind of betray your own inner relationship.
Just to say, you're actually, right? You're not valuing who you are.
Yeah,
would be it.
Yeah. And so that's what I'm saying. It's almost like your relationship with you is broken now because you aren't listening. And so that aspect of you just kind of says, I have a lot to say, but you ain't listening, so there's nothing for me to really say.
Yeah, just surrender. I'm not even going to bother. Yeah. And I think one of the things you said, what's the gift in this? And that goes back to gratitude as well. So while Moira and I have both been semi-immobilized in a few things, I've had to look at the blessings in this. Because that's one of the things I teach anyway. But if I chose not to, I would be a 10 every day.
Yeah.
So finding the gift, having the gratitude for whatever you're going through. Today, having a drink of water worked. Not drinking water and drinking coffee, like whatever it is, find the gift in what you're healing, because the universe is not going to give you something you can't handle. I'm an incredibly firm believer on that.
Me too.
And there is gifts in everything if you choose to open your eyes.
Yeah. Well, because the truth is, you would not be going through it unless it was for your highest and best good. But sometimes we have to sit in this sort of darkness before we realize, all I had to do was get up and put the switch on. Yeah, but to come to that awareness, sometimes you do just have to sit and say, okay, so I'm going to sit in darkness for a spell.
Yeah.
For a spell, right? And then, okay, so what can I do? Start feeling around yourself. What gifts are here for me, right? And that's what you're saying. It comes back to gratitude and appreciation, which I think is a huge, huge component around what healing means.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Appreciating everything that you experience, because it's actually scripted by your soul and experienced by you. So it's like, let's engage and be on purpose with it, right?
And it's not hard.
No.
I find it's not a hard thing you've got to do.
No, it does require committing to yourself, right?
Yeah, if you can constantly do it, it's not hard. But asking someone what's the value to you of being in a moon boot, there is none. There is none. I say things like that to people, and the first thing they go, there is none. There's no benefits. There's nothing. What do you mean? Value being in a moon boot.
Yeah.
Are you getting attention? Doesn't matter. No. But I wrote some stuff down.
I was just gonna, because we're wrapping up in a minute, but I saw you got us some notes.
I happen to handwrite some notes here. So I'm going to quickly do this before Moira signs us off. So what does healing mean? Number one, self-healing, healing within, and it's an inner healing.
Yeah.
And one of the key things I noticed with Moira is she said, don't abdicate this responsibility, as in delegate it to somebody else.
Right.
Definitely get mentors and, like Moira and I on board. Absolutely. But
and
don't go,
team. Yeah.
You're going to fix me.
Yep.
You're going to fix me. Yep. Get the right people around you. Number two
Number true.
true is trust.
Yes.
And that's believe in what you do with whatever healing is part of that. Believe in hypnotherapy, believe in the gratitude, believe in whatever it is. Number three, pivot. My favorite word. And that's stay present with balance and harmony.
Yeah.
During this time. Number four, loving all aspects of you.
Mm-hmm.
Even just saying that, I could just feel my whole body, feel like that rush of beautifulness has just gone into you.
Yeah, such a beautiful healing salve.
Yeah, which is actually a little bit around gratitude as well. Interesting. Number five is turn the lights out to see the light.
Yes, I like that one.
So surrendering is definitely great. Number six, PEMS.
Physical,
PEMS.
emotional, mental, and spiritual.
Yeah, and that's just do a check-in. Do a check-in like we do with the numbering at the start and at the end, which we're going to do in a minute. That's just a great little check-in to go, oh, well, that explains it. That
Absolutely.
explains it.
Stops
the moon
the chatter.
changes.
It stops the
hormonal.
chatter and the why and that. I love that.
It just shuts down to something very simple, very quick. Oh, well, that'll explain it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Beautifully done, my dear. It's great that you make a note of these. So I hope everybody was able to write them down. I don't think we told them to write them down, but you have to.
Well, you're just going to have to listen to it again.
Back it up and write them down.
Yeah.
Awesome. So what does healing mean? We do intend that this helped you embrace what healing is and really step into it and craft it for yourself. Healing on all levels. That's what we're all doing together. And one other piece I want to interject here is when you heal yourself, you do it for the collective. And that's the gift of all healing work. We say it starts from within and it's an inner job, but you doing that affects the whole. And that's why it's super, super important. Awesome. So that actually applies to all of those tips that you just beautifully shared too. Awesome. So wrapping this up, our deliciously
1.5.
motivated. She beat me to it. So Deb was a 2.5 to begin with, and she's now a 2.5. I was a 2 and now I'm a 1. So that's how we check in. And to Deb's point, when you're doing that check-in, just feel into all aspects of you and allow yourself to shift and change. You can shift and change in the blink of an eye. Sometimes just acknowledging that's the number I'm at is enough to just feel a little bit more peace around it. A little bit more
just
ease.
shuts your brain down. You're like, oh, well, that explains it. Hand
That's
on
right.
heart.
Yes, that's why I was trying to say this just stops the chattering mind of why do I feel like that? What? No, it's just come into this space of ease.
It shuts down the Pac-Man.
Exactly. Yeah, even at 5, technically, you could still have a sense of ease if you just said, I'm at 5. That's it.
Yeah.
So, dear listeners, we'd love to hear from you. If you have any questions or need some more support, let us know. But we'd love to know, where were you to begin with? What number were you at the beginning of our conversation? And where are you now? We would love to hear back from you. And if you'd need any more support on these ideas around healing, we'd love to hear from you also.
We are here. Yeah.
We are here. All right, my dears. All right, dear listeners.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
it's been
everybody.
An awesome conversation. Look forward to our
Moira.
next one.
Perfect timing for me.
Absolutely. And me.
Yep.
All right. Over and out.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.